Welcome everybody to the, I've forgotten the number, 112 Friday morning warm up, and we'll get started straight away when I've shared the screen. So let's get our clapping pattern on the screen, and we're going to start looking at triplets. Now you'll see on the screen an awful lot of stuff about triplets, and we're only going to look at the first couple of lines this week, and we'll expand on it next time. So don't worry about the third and fourth lines for today. I'm going to get you to just start clapping anyway, just on the top line. But this time, rather than just clapping, I'd like you also to say the numbers as well that are on the screen. But I'll give you a couple of instructions as we're going. So let's just start with, and it's going to be quite a bit slower than usual as well. So we're just going to start with the top line, nice and simple. So clapping and counting at the same time. Just follow me if you're not sure. Here we go. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy as that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, and that's it. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now keep the clapping going at the same speed, but then go on to the second line, and with me, go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Yeah, keep counting. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. This time clap as well. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Say it as well. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now keep clapping, but just go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So just on the second line. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okie dokie. Right. Well, they are. If you look at the second line, you'll see that the actual value of the musical note is a quaver. So what we were doing there was clapping triplet quavers. And what that essentially means is in the space of normally 2 quavers, in terms of the time, we clapped 3. So when we're talking about triplet, we're talking about clapping or playing 3 notes in the space of 2. Because normally on that second line, if there weren't triplets, there'd be 8 4 pairs or 8 quavers, but there are 12. And as you can see, on each beat there are 3 quavers rather than just the usual 2. And that's what we mean by triplets. Is essentially it's 3 notes in the space of 2, evenly divided in time. And so that's some triplet quavers. And next time we'll look at the third. We'll repeat that one just to recap. Then we'll go on to the third line and look at triplet crotchets, which are a little less familiar. But okay, good. Right, if you'd like to get hold of your instrument, we will start. Can't find me little egg timer. There it is. We'll just. We're on the key of G major today, so just on the note concert G. Just for a minute, we're just going to twang that note. Here we go. And of course, you know what we're going to do next. It's going to be the chromatic scale. So I'll set the metronome to just a tad faster than we were doing. And so starting on concert G, up the chromatic scale to the octave and back down again, this sort of speed. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down. And with any luck, you got down to the end at the same time as I did. And again, 2, 3, 4. Down. Okay, let's speed that up a notch, and that was 80 beats per minute, by the way. Let's go up to 120, so a bit of a jump, but you are getting obviously more familiar with the different chromatic scales. Here we go, 1, 2, actually, oh, that's too big a jump. Let's go down again. Here we go, a bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go up to that speed I did have. 120. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I hope everything is going fine so far. If it's very easy doing it because of the nature of the instrument or your experience, try it in a different part of the instrument, or if you're on a polyphonic instrument, try doing 2 notes at the same time, like on a piano. Octaves. Okay, here we go. A bit faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more, nice and quick, just to stretch you all. I don't think we've done it this fast for a while. Are you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was 200. Good, right, okay, so let's go on now to the exercise sheet. If you'd like to get hold of that and get that in front of you. What we're looking at today, we did look at this a few weeks ago, about a couple of months ago, is what are called broken arpeggios. So we're going to come on to playing some broken arpeggios in the key of G major for concert instruments, A major for B flat instruments, E major for the E flat instruments. And first of all, before we do, let's just play the basic arpeggio. Well, let's play the major scale first of all, and then we'll come on to the arpeggios and then talk about the broken arpeggios. So it's more of an exercise, but some people do use it in music as well, in compositions, but it's more of a kind of an exercise to get your fingers around all the inversions. So first of all, first 2 bars is just the major scale up and down, 1 octave, so we'll do that first. So if you'd like to get ready for the first 2 bars, we're just going to go up and down with the quavers, played straight, not swung. So after 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Yeah, I'll slow that down a little bit. Here we go. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a couple more times. 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well that's the major scale, or the key that all the following is going to be derived from. And we are going to look at some arpeggios, of course, and we're going to look at 3 particular ones. Now in each key there are 7, as you know. There are 7 notes in the scale, so therefore there are 7 chords or arpeggios, one from each of the different notes in the scale. The probably the most important are the 3 major arpeggios, and they are derived from the first position, so from the root note, from the 4th, and from the 5th. So that will be, and to give them their musical terms, that is the tonic, the root, the subdominant, starting from the 4th note of the scale, and the dominant, starting from the 5th. Now, an arpeggio or a chord, a triad, sometimes it's known as, 3 notes, will be the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, starting on whichever degree of the scale you're talking about. So if we're starting on the tonic, and it's starting on G, for example, it will be G, B, and D, and then the octave will be another G. So we're looking at the tonic chord arpeggio, which is bars 3 and 4 on the screen in front of you. And so this is the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and then the octave, just to make it complete. And I'm just going to go up and down. So we're going to do bars 3 and 4, which is the tonic arpeggio. Root, 3rd, 5th, and octave, and back down again. Sing it if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Root, 3rd, 5th, octave, 5th, 3rd, root. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that is the sound of a major arpeggio. Now we're going to move on to the next line, and here we've got the first one is the subdominant chord arpeggio. So it's going to be another major arpeggio. So it's going to sound very similar, of course, because it's the root, 3rd, 5th, and octave, but it's starting on the 4th note of the scale. So subdominant. Okay, so let's play bars 1 and 2 of the second line. This is the subdominant chord. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Good. Moving on to the next one, and this is the dominant now. So this is going to be a tone higher. So this is starting on the 5th degree of the scale, and the dominant chord, as I'm sure you know, is the chord which usually is followed by the tonic in chord progressions. Not always, but usually. Here we go. So we're doing 3 and 4, bars 3 and 4 of the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our basic sort of store of three arpeggios, getting us ready to do the broken arpeggio exercise. So the first one is on the next line, on the third line, and this is taking the tonic chord, the first one we did, and breaking the arpeggio up and just doing what we're going to do is the sequence of notes there, just to give you an idea of the pattern rather than just reading it and playing it, is it goes root, third, fifth for the first arpeggio. Doesn't go to the octave, just the root, third, fifth. That's the first three notes. Then it goes back down to the previous note, which would have been the third, fifth, and then the octave. And that's known as an inversion of the triad. So we've done the first inversion, a root inversion. Then the next three notes is the first inversion. So it's the same three notes, but just played in a different order. And then the next three notes after that is what's known as the second inversion. Because we've got 12 notes in those first three bars, which is what we're looking at. And the last three notes is the first one again, but an octave higher. Just kind of working its way up in three note blocks, each of the triads. So if that doesn't quite figure it out, just write the notes underneath and then you'll see the little patterns come up, maybe something to do afterwards on your piece of paper. So okay, we're now going to play the first three bars then. So this is the tonic chord ascending broken arpeggio. Okay, after 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, sort of sounds familiar, doesn't it? But not something you'd necessarily hear in the tune of a song, but obviously an exercise of arpeggios. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Just ignoring the 2 bar lines in those 3 bars. These are actually, as I said, groups of 3 notes, triads, and there are 4 of them. So they're the 4 triads that we're looking at. So the root inversion, the first inversion, the second inversion, then an octave higher root inversion. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. First inversion, second inversion, root again. There we go. Right, that's the tonic chord. Let's move on to the descending version of the same thing. So we're just going on to the next 3 bars. So on the still on the 3rd line, but the 3 bars on the right there. So it's just the same thing in reverse. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good, right, well that's the broken arpeggio exercise for the tonic chord. We're now going to do the same thing for the subdominant. So on to the next line, and we'll do the ascending first. So it's exactly the same idea, the root position triad, followed by the first inversion, followed by the second inversion, and followed by the, finished with the root inversion, but an octave higher. So we're now on to the next line. the subdominant chord. Here we go. After 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I said one more time, I think that's right. Okay, on to the next 3. So this will be the subdominant descending. So it's the same thing, and you might notice, of course, when you're playing this, that you're finding yourself playing actually triads, especially keyboard players and guitarists and ukulele players. You're finding yourself playing shapes which are actually standard chord shapes in some instances. Some are less common chord shapes, but you find your fingers moving around through the chord shapes, the triads, not the 7th chords, just the triads. So, okay, the descending one now, subdominant, descending. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And finally, because we're doing the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant chords in this exercise. Of course, you can do these broken arpeggios on any chord, any triad of any quality, whether it's major, minor, diminished, augmented, for example, and just follow the same basic pattern. Okay, on to the penultimate line now. So we're doing the dominant chord. Yeah. So let's just play that after 4. First 3 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, good, good. So that's the dominant chord, or the 5 chord, some people call it. And on to the final one now, before we do the exercise on the bottom line, the dominant chord descending. Okie dokie, after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Sing at the same time if you've not got an instrument in your mouth. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dun, 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 dun. Singing while playing does help you connect your mind and what you're hearing through your mouth with what you're playing in your fingers. That's a good thing to do. One more time on that one after 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, let me start that again. I fumbled there. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, maybe that's something to bring into your warm-up exercises to get your fingers moving in before a practice session, for example. Right, we're just going to look at the last line now. And this does look a little bit more daunting, mainly because it's in quavers mostly rather than crotchets. So I am going to slow it down actually, just to, so at least I have a fighting chance of playing it, let alone you guys. And what I've done here is I've just made up a little sequence where I'm using bits of the broken arpeggio patterns, but going through the chord sequence of 1, 4 and 5. So you'll hear it, you'll actually hear a chord sequence being outlined by these arpeggios. Because after all, if you're playing arpeggios, you're playing chords, even if you're playing one note at a time, like a saxophone, for example. So, and it's the first, I think it's 1, 2, 3, yeah, the first 6 notes are from the tonic, the next 6 notes are from the subdominant, and then the next 6 notes are from the dominant, the 5, and then it's back to the tonic. So it's a 1, in terms of chord sequences, it's a 1, 4, 5, 1. Always good to use the numbering system rather than shouting out a load of letters. If you can get into that idea, all sorts of benefits come about. So anyway, have a go, and maybe it's something to work on afterwards if it doesn't come under your fingers immediately. I've slowed down the metronome though, so we're now going at this speed. Right, that will be 1 and 2 and 3, and so a little bit slower. Let's do that first 3 bars, okay? After 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure this is something you've heard before. But it's much more musical now because it's following a very familiar chord sequence. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah. Good. Okay, that's exercise number 1. Now let's do exercise number 2, which is a similar idea. Follow the tonic for the first 6 notes. So you're playing 2 little triads from the tonic, and then 2 triads from the subdominant, and then 2 triads from the tonic, subdominant and tonic. Sorry, dominant, and then back to the tonic. So it's another 1, 4, 5, 1. Just descending. You'll hear it, I'm sure. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, sounds nice. And again, 2 and 3 and 4 and let's do that one more time. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Right, broken arpeggios. And so effectively you've been playing inversions of triads as well as the basic triad, as well as each of those tonic, subdominant and dominant chords in the key. Quite a lot of stuff really. So good. Right, okay, let's just finish off with our usual little sequence where I strum the chords and you play the arpeggios or just noodle about on your instrument. So I am playing actually that same chord sequence. G, well I'm playing G, C, D, G, the chords, triads, and that is the 1, the 4, the 5 and the 1 in that key. So you could try those arpeggios over that if you like, or do anything you like. Here we go. I'm just going to strum 2 bars on each chord. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Next chord. Do that for the last time. 2, 3, 4. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Finish on the tonic. And there we go. So just a chance there to play some triads. Arpeggios. Good, good, good. Don't know how many times I said the word arpeggio in that session. Okay, we'll be back next week with some more stuff. So let me just get that off the screen and say goodbye to everybody. Nice to see you all. And hopefully see you all.
Thank you, Dave.
And back next week.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. See you next week.